Welcome to an incredible journey with internationally renowned lawyer of attraction, Paula Casey. Applying the skills gained over 40 years of practicing law, Paula uses facts, logic, and science to prove the validity of the law of attraction. Join Paula each week as she explores unique concepts, allowing you to rediscover the wisdom of the ancient masters, all while weaving in the science that proves magic really does happen. If you yearn for a life change or want to rediscover your passion, then share the path with Paula and begin to love your journey every step of the way.
Hello, this is Paula Casey, and I am your host for the Law of Attraction on the Law of Attraction Radio Network. And welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you joined me last week because we were talking about the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is an individual journey as well as a collective journey, and we are on this journey together. So I want to go a little bit backwards and talk about last week, and I'll give you a little bit of an overview regarding that. And then what I did was I brought in one of the lessons that I teach. I have a 8-week Your Outrageous Life course, and it's fun, and I wanted to show you the flavor of what one of those lessons would be. And this was a great one, Your Hero's Journey. So we listened to half of that last week, and we're going to listen to the other half, but I kind of want to bring you up to speed, especially if you weren't here last week, about what the hero's journey is. And the hero's journey is a phrase that was coined by Joseph Campbell. He was a philosophy professor in the mid-20th century, and his passion was tribes and ancient cultures, and his passion was, what did every tribe and every culture and every time period, did they all have something in common? Was there something that made us human? Was there something that brought us all together? And he spent years researching that, and he came up with what he called a monomyth. That means there's one myth that's pervasive across all cultures, across all time. And he called this the hero's journey, because every culture had a myth about how brave we all are, how the people in their culture could be brave to take their lives to the next level. And if you are on the radio, I will very professionally describe this to you, but if you're on YouTube, you're going to be able to see the actual diagram. And he had diagrammed it, and it's a wheel. So we start out at the top of the wheel, and it is our hometown. It is our house. It is our current job. It is our current life. And we think we're happy there. You know, we are Luke in Star Wars. We're working for our aunt and uncle. We are the Hobbit in, Lord of the Rings. We're Dorothy in Wizard of the Oz. We're Simba in The Lion King. We're happy. We don't know any different. And then something happens. There is a call to adventure. And a lot of times it's a crisis. It doesn't have to be. It can be a growth. It can be a yearning inside of us. But, it could be your aunt and uncle dies if you're Luke and you have to leave. Or, the bad lady is going to steal your dog in The Wizard of Oz, and so you have to leave to take care of the dog. Or, you think you killed your father, so you're running away from your Uncle Scar in The Lion King. I mean, every single great piece of literature, every single great movie literally has used the same template. George Lucas actually indicated that he intentionally used this template when he was doing all of his Star Wars movies. So you're in your safe place, you hear this call to adventure, and it may very well be an involuntary call to adventure. You may gotten divorced or lost your job, or something horrible happened, or a death. But something has to change. You kind of have to leave this safe space. And like I said, it doesn't have to be involuntary. A lot of times we just grow out of the safe space. So we decide to go on this journey. And we're going on this journey, and sooner or later we get out of our comfort zone. We've never been here before. We've never been to the city. We've never had this job. We've never lived alone. In every single one of these movies, something's happened. Dorothy ends up in the land of Oz. Luke is, with the good side as opposed to the dark side. I forget what that's called, the resistance. But there's something new that they've never been there before. And when you're there, you encounter obstacles. You encounter things that you have to overcome. You encounter your dragons. It's Darth Vader. It's Voldemort. It's the Bad Witch and the Wizard of Oz. It's something that it is scary and you have no idea how you're going to overcome it. And you've never been here before and you're so uncomfortable. It's your terror barrier. But then something happens, some, paranormal, something spiritual, something outside of the ordinary happens. You get a mentor, you get someone a guide that helps you, lead you. You get Obi-Wan Kenobi, or you get Glinda the Good Witch, or you get Timon, and I forget that other little guy in The Lion King. You get somebody that helps you, and then you have this big revelation that you can do it. Mufasa shows up in The Lion King, the ghost of Mufasa, to tell him he can do it. The Wizard of Oz tells Dorothy she can do it. There's somebody that shows up and tells you that you have this power all along, my dear. And you don't have to know all of this at once. You just have to know the next step and the next step. What happens is you start trusting the universe. You start trusting this plot of this movie, that everything's going to be okay, because you don't know how to slay this dragon, but you've got someone that's going to teach you, and you're going to get the next step and the next step. And you don't need to know it all at once. And then guess what happens? You become aware of this amazing journey that you're on and the power of the universe that flows to and through you. And then you're transformed. You're transformed into something else. You're transformed into something smarter and braver and stronger and more aware. And you know that you can slay these dragons again. And you take time to reflect on everything that you've learned, where you came from, how difficult it was, how you got through this terror barrier, how you slayed your dragons, how you became aware, how you transformed. And once you've done that reflection, you go back to your tribe and you teach them this information, because now you are the teacher, you are the sage. And then you go back and you tell your tribe, you're a teacher, you share this information that you've learned. You now are a sage, you are a master, you are the wise one. And you rest for a while, and then guess what? You get to do this again. And you're a little wiser, and you're a little stronger, and you're braver. And you're never going to just stay in one place all the time, because remember, we're here to grow. The universe is either you expand or you contract, and we are here to expand. Our lives, our spirits, our courage, our abundance, our gratitude, we are here to expand everything. And that's what the hero's journey is all about. So last week we talked about the first part of my lesson, and I had you listen to that. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to have you listen to the last part of the lesson. And it's talking about rewriting your story, and it's talking about going backwards. Because when we're just learning about this, we don't realize that we have been a hero in our lives our entire life. That we need to become the hero in our own stories, that we need to become the stars in our own life, that it's okay to be a supporting player for your employer or your spouse in their lives, but in your life, you need to step up and understand the power that you have to make your dreams come true, that you have a right to be the hero in your own story. But if you look back and you think, I was a victim, or I had all these bad things happen to me, or things outside happened to me, and I had no control over it, and poor me, you don't look at yourself as a hero, you look at yourself as a victim. So what we're going to do in this next part of my lesson is we're going to go back and rewrite our story. What? You can go backwards? Yes, because if we can reframe where we came from, and we can acknowledge the courage and the bravery that we've had to have to get to where we are in our lives. I don't care where you are. I don't care what little small town you may have always lived in. There has been a lot of things that you've overcome. And if you can go back and recognize that and reframe your story and reclaim your power and re-understand that you are the hero in your own journey, it makes all the difference in the world. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break here real quick. We're going to come back and listen to the last part of my lesson. So there's going to be some microphone changes. You've got this microphone, and then we're going to have the one that we use for my lesson. Then I'm going to come back and talk to you a little bit. And then I want you to hear from a couple more of my students that have taken my programs and how powerful this information is. I want you to understand it's the information that's powerful. It's not because it's my program. It's because I have been so fortunate to understand this from other mentors, from other past masters, from all the readings, and I have been able to put this together. And it's so powerful to help you take your lives to the next level. So hang on, we're going on this journey together, and I will be back after we have this this brief lesson from me. So I'll talk to you in a little while. Thanks so much.
So we're going to go backwards in our lives. What? Yes, we are. We're going to go backwards in our lives. Okay, Andy Dooley, who is Mike Dooley's brother, who has his own program, who's fun, he says, divorce the story and marry the dream. We're going to tell you what that means. Michael Cunningham says, we become the stories we tell ourselves. And I want you guys to really pay attention to that one. If you have been told all along that you're not worthy, or you can't do it, or you can't go to school, or you're not smart enough, we become the stories we tell ourselves. And we have been told these things from the very beginning. It's not because our parents didn't love us. It's because they were trying to protect us and they were teaching us what everybody had taught them. And then, of course, my favorite is, it is our lot in life. It's not a lot, but it's our life, from A Bug's Story, A Bug's Life. Okay, so what if we go backwards? And this is going to be our review. What if we marry our new dream? We got to have that passion. We got to set up that thing. I would be happy to meet with everybody if you want to, but I want some kind of passion that we have, some kind of dream, some kind of general idea of where we're going with our lives. We're going to choose new beliefs at service. We're going to figure out what that dream is, and then we're going to say, what beliefs do I need to get to that dream? And we're going to start internalizing those new beliefs. We're going to start internalizing new conditioning in our subconscious mind. And we know how to do that. We're going to feed the good wolf all the day. We're going to be in a situation that's going to make us feel better. We're going to have constant spaced repetition of a new idea with emotion of where we want to be. We're going to quiet our minds. We're going to learn to use the whimper factor and think, feel, and respond differently than we have before. We are not going to allow the outside conditioning control how we feel, because the most important thing is how we feel. We're going to recognize the new serendipities in the now. So remember, whenever you have a new conditioning, a new paradigm, your subconscious mind starts showing you different bits of information than you've ever seen before. It only shows you about 50 bits of information. When you change that conditioning in your subconscious mind, it starts showing you different bits of information, things that were already there, opportunities that were already there, people that were already there. I live in a neighborhood, and I would go for 2 miles in the morning and 1 mile walk at night. For years, we moved in 2003, and in 2011, I finally look up for my walk. You know how you go? And I see a client that I'd known, that I'd always respected. She lived in the neighborhood. She's always lived in the neighborhood. We became best friends. Always there, not paying attention. So when but we've got to recognize these new serendipities. And once we start internalizing new conditioning, you are going to start see these coincidences and serendipities pop up like daisies. Like that's from Mulan. I know all of my Disney movies. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to take action. Because if we don't take action, our GPS won't go into gear, right? We got to put our car into gear and take baby steps, or that universal GPS cannot tell us what our next turn is, cannot tell us where we're going. And we're going to recognize and trust our true being. Okay, so we are human. We are humans, but we are spiritual beings being human. Where do you think human being comes from? I mean, I just think that's amazing, isn't that? That's amazing. So we need to recognize and trust that. Just start thinking about it if you've never thought about it before. And then we're going to go backwards in our lives. What? Okay, so if we are a story that we continue to tell ourselves, what if we tell ourselves a different story? What if we look at our past lives through new lenses? So what if these new concepts that we realize, go with me here, pretend like you're following me and that you believe me. What if we realize that we are brave, daring spirits? We chose to come here. We knew there'd be hazards of time and space. What if we knew that we came here for this supreme purpose? What if we knew that we were never alone, that we were attached to this higher being? What if we knew that? Because we know that now. We have a thing that is supreme inside of us. There's a blueprint that we came down here to do. What if we knew those things? Would that make you just think that little kid that went through so much was so brave? You could write a story about how brave you have been ever since you were little, about all the obstacles you've gone through. If you put yourself as the hero of that story, knowing what you do now, it changes everything. Because now you think of yourself as a brave spirit who had to go through these things. Remember, you can't connect dots going forward, but you can connect dots going back. You connect the dots. I had to do that. I had to get through that to get to this next level. I was brave. I survived. I got through it. I was kind to people. I was smart enough to get through something. It's so different than what we tell ourselves about our own past. So everything in life has shells. Eggs have shells, seed have shells, our ego has a shell. That's what we use to protect ourselves from other people. But when the seed meets the right environment, it grows from the inside out. So every time you plant a seed, everything that plant needs is inside the seed. And it doesn't grow until it meets the right environment. Okay, so you can put an acorn seed in sand or in something that there is a life force in the environment that has to react to the seed. Biology is absolutely amazing, and it makes the seed break. All the information, the blueprint, everything that this oak tree needs is in this little bitty acorn. So once these seeds, our ego, meets this environment, which is our awareness, our knowledge of where we are, then it starts to grow from the inside out. Our egos start splitting. We don't need it anymore. So our right environment is the awareness that we are learning from all of these amazing masters that have come before us. So then we can go backwards and retell our story. So if we view these stories with gratitude, remember everything, we can find gratitude in everything. Knowing that we had to go through those things to get to where we are. Knowing that we were so brave and so little. Knowing that the stuff we have gone through. If somebody made a movie of your life, you'd go, wow, that person is really cool. But we've been taught, that we're not worthy, that these things had to happen to us. So what if we are brave eternal spirits coming down here? What if we came down here to expand ourselves and the universe and all the spirits? So we are the heroes of our own stories. We don't ever do that. We think we're somebody's, character that's just a supporting character. We are the stars of our own life. And if you go back and write your story on using those lenses, you will be amazed how differently you feel about yourself. This is going to be part of your exercise, but I want you to write your past story knowing what we do now. Nobody has to read it, although I would love for you to share it with somebody that you trust. But it's going to make you show that you are a victor. You are not a victim. You got through this stuff. You're sitting here. We're still breathing. We're on our way to this thing that is supreme. When you understand you are a victor and you have slain dragons up till now, and that you were never alone, and there was a reason you came down here, and that you're perfect and worthy just the way you are, it makes all the difference in the world. So I'm going to share with you when I kind of did this, and it's in my book, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. So I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I'm very bossy and I'm very controlling, and it served me well. But when I started having anxiety attacks and literally you're out of control, it was kind of like somebody slapping me around and saying, you think you're in control, lady? Well, you're not in control. So I would have these anxiety attacks, and I've been on this journey and I found all this information and it's been wonderful. And about 3 summers ago, I was taking a coaching course. Debbie Ford wrote the Dark Side of the Light Chasers, that, when we go to these things, everything's happy and unicorns and rainbows and we should be happy. There's a dark side also. And until we learn to embrace that, which we're learning to embrace tonight, that we can't see the whole picture, that we can't understand that. So I did a 10-week coaching session with her. She's in Canada. And they were supposed to last an hour. And she would call me and we'd go through this. Well, one of the lessons was pick a memory from childhood that sticks out more than any of them. And so I said, okay. So when I was like 11 or 12, my dad had run a Ford dealership, and he was president of Rotary, and he was a deacon, and he was one of the bigwigs in town. For a number of reasons, he lost his business. And literally, we were pretty much penniless at that point in time. And he had a nervous breakdown, and he did not come out of the back room for months. And my stay-at-home mom had to go to work. And he finally found a job. He found a laborer's job. So this was really humiliating for him. This is a really tough time. And he worked second shift, and my mom was working. And we literally were walking into a restaurant, and she fell flat on her face. And after a lot, she didn't try to catch herself. Her body just went. She was diagnosed with MS. And she was in the hospital at the KU Med Center for probably 6 months. So my memory of this was, okay, I don't ever want to feel this way again. So I took control of everything. I raised my little sister. I cooked, I cleaned, I did the laundry. I did everything in the house, and I'm in control because I never want to feel vulnerable again. And so she goes, okay, tell me that story again. I said, well, Michelle, when I was 12, and I tell her the story again. 3 hours. 11 times she has me tell the story. Every time I tell that story, she finally says, okay, where did you get the food to cook? How did you get to the grocery store? Oh, well, my dad took us to the grocery store. And where'd you get the money? Well, he was working and he had money. And you cooked every meal. I said, well, come to think of it. Everybody, every neighbor in the neighborhood picked a day, and every day at lunch we would go to different neighbors. And every night our parents' friends would bring a casserole. And she goes, okay. So then once I started looking at it differently, I started remembering my friends' parents would take us places. My grandparents lived, 6 blocks away? It's not like I was an orphan. I started thinking of all the people that had helped. I started thinking of all the things that went right. I started thinking of all the support I had. And she goes, now what do you say? And I cried. I said, the universe had my back. Instead of me thinking I had to control everything, once I realized the universe had my back, it changes everything, because you can realize it's okay. You can just be. You can surrender. You don't have to go through your life with your fists like I have. You can relax into the arms of the universe, which I absolutely love. So I want you guys to write, knowing all the concepts that we know. I would love to read it. I would love to go over it with you. If you don't want to, that's okay. I would love it if you could share it with somebody that you feel close to. If you don't, that's okay. But now, George Carlin said the caterpillar did all the work, but the butterfly gets all the publicity. Now we're going to talk about that butterfly, okay? We are here because of our past conditioning. We are here right now because we know what we now know. We're aware. So we're going to talk about that butterfly. If you haven't got it yet, I'm sure you've got some concepts of where we are. You got to set that amazing goal, desire, target, dream. I'm going to come up with a new noun on what we want to call it. Okay, so here's the big part. You're going to use your imagination to feel exactly how you're going to feel when you arrive. Because if we imagine that we're joyful, we are on the frequency of joyful. Our subconscious mind does not know the difference. Remember, we got a horse show, it doesn't know the difference. We are on the frequency of joy. And guess what the universe is going to give you? The law of attraction gives you more joy. So when you use your imagination to feel exactly how you're going to feel when you get to that goal, desire, target, dream, somebody's going to help me with our new word for that. This is where the magic happens. So once you start thinking of that, you're going to have to pick a new belief system that's compatible with this dream and that it serves you. We've talked about this before. We're going to internalize this new belief system with constant spaced repetition. We are going to feed the good wolf all day. We are not just going to do our homework in the morning and listen to this a couple of times. We are going to pick good music to listen to in the car. We're going to pick great things to watch on TV, great books to read. We are going to go outside. We are going to take walks. We are going to volunteer. We are going to feed the good wolf, because that vibration is going to get you where you need to be for you to align with your dream. Because remember, we don't write this to send this to the universe, you know, in a letter. We write this for ourselves. Writing in cursive allows us to connect with that word. And when you write love and joy and freedom and abundance, when we get to that amazing goal at the end, it's not the goal we want, you guys. It's the feeling. We want security. We want to feel loved. We want to feel abundance. We want to feel freedom. We want to be able to do anything we want to, which entails a lot of money. We want the feelings when we get there, because we're going to want something else when we get there. Like my mother says, why can't you be happy with what you have? Because I know that there's this bigger picture. So it's the feelings that we want to feel. So you're going to write one story, your story growing up. You're going to write this new story. We're going to write it out in the present tense. It's happening right now. I want you to write down right now what your life looks like right now, but it's going to be where you want to be. You're going to write what it looks like when you reach your destination. I want you to be as specific as you can with the feelings. I want you to use as many words of feelings, and when you write in cursive, I want you to think of those. I want you to feel the feelings. I want you to smell the pine. I want you to see the mountains. I want you to hear the ocean. I want you to, feel that baby in your arms. I want you to look at your bank account and go, oh my God, I've got $3 million in it. I want you to feel the feeling, okay? I want you to be specific on the emotion. I want you to know the basics. I want you to know that this house is sitting on the ocean. You can furnish the house, all I care. But you've got to leave the universe wide latitude. And the funny thing is, when I typed this the first time, I said the universe wise latitude, which I thought the universe is telling me it was supposed to be wise instead of wide. You've got to let the universe fill in some stuff. And when you're thankful, remember, gratitude is huge. You're going to say, thank you for this or more. Let the universe give you a lot more. I can tell you, when I started this particular journey, when I knew I wanted to teach this, which was 2011, 7 years ago, so we've got to keep trucking on. I had no idea where it was going to take me. And every time I needed something more, something else would happen. Every time something that I needed more information, that I needed to go deeper, I would get that. So do not be specific. It does not have to be a specific house. It doesn't have to be a specific ocean. It doesn't have to be a specific mountain. Leave the universe wide latitude to fill in the blanks. Be grateful with every emotion. I am so grateful that I am abundantly wealthy, and use gratitude with this whole thing, because remember, the more you're grateful for something, the more the universe goes, well, hey, she's on that vibration. You're going to get that. You're letting the juices flow. You have to be happy and grateful where you are. And this is the tough part. You think, when I get over there, I'm going to be happy. You can't get there from here. You got to be happy. And it's not necessarily, you're not necessarily happy, the same thing that you're going to do when you get there, but you've got to be happy where you are. You've got to be satisfied that you have a roof over your head, and that you got babies to hug, and that you just got to be happy where you are. You can't go on a journey of being down and disappointed and frustrated and think you're ever going to get to this happy ending. The happy ending starts with a happy destination. And that's the huge thing. You have to be on the same frequency, the journey that you're going to be when you arrive. And you guys, this is a choice. This is not, but there's nothing to be happy about. But I'll be happy when I get it. It's a choice to pick a new emotion. Remember, a thought produces an emotion. You can pick a new thought. You can use your whimper factors and use a new perspective on something. You can find, it's a choice to be happy. And when you understand it's the most important thing that you're going to ever have to get to that dream, you're going to want to make those choices. Okay, so I want you to write your story out. I want you to record it on your smartphone. Every one of them has a little recording thing on it. Listen to it. Listen to it when you're in the car. I wrote for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. It was probably 3 or 4 minutes when you read it. So it's not really long. If you say it with this emotion, how excited you are, that subconscious mind goes, well, she's pretty happy. I'm going to start showing her different things. I'm going to start, and the more you listen to it, number one, the more it's like, well, that's not that unreasonable. The more you say something, the less ridiculous it sounds. You start paying attention. You start paying attention. The more you hear this, the more your subconscious mind does not go, well, that's way out there. It goes, okay, I heard this yesterday. I heard this the day before. I heard this the day before. It starts paying attention to you. Once you get on this vibration, it has to happen. It's a natural law. Just like gravity has to happen. It's a natural law. And when we learn how to harness that, that's when the magic happens. So I'm going to tell you the story about the Golden Buddha. Some of you have heard it, but you're going to have to listen to it again. So there was a town in China that had this big Golden Buddha, and they worshipped it and they adored it, and they heard that an army was going to be invading the town. They didn't want the army to plunder it, so they put concrete and mud and dirt on it so that the army would think it's worthless and the army wouldn't plunder it. And sure enough, the army comes in and they're in the town for years and years, and they think it's worthless and they don't plunder it. And the army retreats at some point in time, and all the people that had put the mud on the Golden Buddha are dead, and nobody remembers that they had done that. And one day a monk is worshiping at the feet of the Golden Buddha, and a little piece of the concrete chips off, and he looks up and it's gold. And he calls the town people, and they take the gold off. Well, you guys, that's what we are. We're gold underneath here. We were born golden. But our parents and our schools and our society have put this concrete and dirt on us, our paradigms, our conditioning, and they did it to protect us. There's not enough to go around. Eat your food because somebody's, starving in China. We can't afford that. That's what you're not good enough for that. You need to do better. You're not smart enough. That's the concrete that they've put on us. And we're not victims at all. But once we realize that there's gold underneath there, we start picking this concrete away, and you realize that you were born gold, and everything that we thought as truth was just this conditioning, just this cement. And once you connect with this higher self, you're going to understand what real truth is. So our exercises, we talked about that earlier, that you're going to write the story of your earlier life. And I would love for you to share it with somebody. Share it with somebody you trust. Share it with somebody that is going to appreciate it. Share it with me. I would love for you to. I want you to write your future story, learning the concepts we have learned. It should take you, if you're writing in cursive, it should probably take you 30 minutes. But it should be fun because you're writing your future. Then I want you to record it, and I want to have you listen to it at least twice a day for the next 7 days before we come back. So follow your bliss, find your dream, and discover that thing that is supreme, because it's in there and we all know it, and that's one reason we're in this class. So don't forget to fluff the pillow. And the more I see this, the more I know this was inspired, because this basically kind of encompasses all we talk about. An increase for everybody, okay? Appreciation is like gratitude. When you give stuff away, the universe says, oh, they have more than enough, and I'm going to give them more because they're in the vibration of abundance, okay? They're in a vibration of abundance, so that gives you more. So increase for everyone. Appreciate everything you have, and you have to be mindful. Stay in the present moment. That's how you use the whimper factors. That is how you be. That is how you surrender to the universe. We have to meditate. We have to quiet our minds. There's no other way to crack open that shell. And we have to learn to exercise our emotions. We can choose a new, different thought. So write that on your palm. Do that somewhere, but try to remember that every day.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope maybe you grabbed a piece of paper and wrote down some of the exercises. If not, it's all going to be on YouTube. I'm going to have all of those PowerPoints up in YouTube, so you'll be able to see that. And I would love to hear your feedback. I would love for you to send me an email at lawyearofattraction.com. Also, if you could subscribe my YouTube channel, it's Paula Kidd Casey, Law Year of Attraction. I'm on Instagram. Also on my website, if you go there, there's a great free 7-day challenge that is fun, and it kind of gives you a good overview of what this program is. So I hope this gives you a better idea on how much power we actually have to control our own lives, to control our destinies, to respond to outside conditions instead of allowing outside conditions dictate that to what we're doing, and that we're victims, because we are not victims, we are victors. We can become the heroes of our own life if we have the knowledge, and the knowledge is the natural laws of the universe. We need to be teaching this to little bitty kids, all this information on how powerful our mind is, how powerful our thoughts are, how powerful this information is. And I would like to now have you talk to, or have you listen to, a couple of my students that have gone through the programs that will tell you how powerful this is. And it's not like they have, left the Shire and become, rock and roll stars, although you definitely can. They have taken from where they are, and they have changed their attitude, and it has changed everything in their lives. And they are still living in the same house, and they still have the same job, but they're making more money, they're having more fun, they understand where they're coming from. And it's such an amazing transformation when you know this information. So hang on and let's go talk to them. We're talking about the hero's journey and how the law of attraction actually helps you get to the point that you understand that you're the hero of your own story. And I have Anna Krause with me today. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Anna is one of my star students. She's taken many of my classes. And I asked her to be here today to talk to you about how the law of attraction programs that she's taken has actually helped her realize that she is the star of her own life, that she is the hero in her own story. So welcome, and can you share with us kind of where you were prior to actually kind of finding this information?
So before finding this information, I think I'd just become a mom. I had an 18-month-old son, and for me that was a major life change. All of my, I became a stay-at-home mom, so all of my career trajectory came to a screeching halt, and my priorities completely rearranged. And
so let me just say, she's Phi Beta Kappa from Smith, so she's extremely intelligent, but she decided she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, right? That was an important value to you.
And I think it was it was a question of what do you really want out of life and where your passion really lies, which is something that your classes really helped me to crystallize. So, and what do you actually want to do with every minute of your day is kind of something that I got out of them.
So you had an 18-month-old, which is that in and of itself is overwhelming.
Who didn't sleep, who never slept. Yeah.
So after the first class, which was really the business one based on Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
What can you tell them how that kind of changed your life?
I think, just like I was saying before, it helped me to focus on what I really wanted out of life. Did I want to be a career woman? Did I want to focus on my family? Did I want, how was I going to find the most fulfillment? What goal did I have for my life? And there's, you can have a goal to make a whole bunch of money, or you can crystallize a different goal that's I want to have this really vibrant family that wants to come together every Sunday and have dinner together, and I think that's kind of where I landed with the idea, and where, I guess it helped me nail down what that personal fulfillment would be for me.
So we're talking about, that we're heroes in our own journey, and that this actually teaches us that we are worthy to go after anything that we want to go after.
Yes, and now that was a sticking point for me.
Okay, tell them about that.
I don't know. I guess, you think and finally you realize maybe you don't believe in your heart that you are worthy of all these goals that you're setting, and that was a big aha moment for me when I could change that and be like, yeah, I'm worthy to go get that, or I'm worthy to do that if I want to do that, just whatever it might be, putting an addition on the house, or going on a vacation, or just the things that you do that would be fulfilling to yourself or uplifting to yourself, that you're worthy of that. So,
and I think one of the things, especially for maybe stay-at-home moms, is
that you're worthy even if you stay at home, that
Yes,
you're not going to be
yeah.
defined by what society tells you.
Right, and
That
that's
your
hard to
worth is
understand.
inside of you,
Yes.
and how well you react to these little ones.
Yes, and it's not, and then you still feel like the pressure, like, well, you don't have a career. What's your contribution? Are you wasting your potential? And you have to have that innate feeling of worthiness, to know that, and a faith in your path,
And faith, that's an excellent thing,
Mm-hmm.
because I think if you have faith in the universe that everything's going to work out all right, that
Yes,
helps you
yeah.
kind of see everything differently in your life.
Yeah.
And did this program help you get to that point?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things that we talk about is that you have to be happy where you are.
Yes.
And you
yeah.
have to use, gratitude is one of the tools that we use.
Yes.
And did that help you kind of get to the next level, that you realized that your decisions were great and that, your life was going to be filled with joy and abundance no matter what you decided to do?
Yes, absolutely. The gratitude piece is so important. And I think you gave me like a lot of the tools, the mental tools, say for example, your memory, your perception, your will, you use all of these things to use your mind to realize all of the hundreds of things you have to be grateful for, and how abundant our lives are right now, and just that inner peace of finding things to be grateful for, because I have an awesome life, like healthy babies, happy relationship, beautiful home. I mean, there's so much to be grateful for. It's amazing.
And you can take those same set of facts and have a completely different attitude.
Yes, yeah.
But
yeah.
when you realize that the outside conditions have nothing to do with how you feel inside, that gives you a sense of freedom, don't you think?
Yes. So, like, as an actor, one of the things that's kind of fun to do as an actor, that it's a kind of a trick of acting, is you can act however you want to act the scene, no matter what the other actor is giving you. Like, if he's not giving you what you want, you can still, play that scene for the funny, for the comedy, or play it for however you think the character's meant to be played. I feel like it's kind of analogous to
That's a great point.
to your
Fake it till you make it.
Right,
That's what
fake
they
it till
say.
you make it.
Right,
Exactly,
right.
exactly.
So let's talk about that. So your passion is really acting.
Right,
And we live in a
Theater
small
geek.
town, Wichita, Kansas.
Yes.
But I think one of the things this allowed you to do is go back to acting, because
Yes,
you are now
absolutely.
acting
I'm back acting, and I'm thrilled to be back. And I was given a part that I wasn't expecting to get, but I've been having so much fun with it. And at first it seemed like a setback, but then I'm like, wait, I can reframe my view of this and view it as a challenge and see what fun I can have with it. And now I'm having the time of my life, and just by reframing my view, and so I've really been enjoying that.
So not only are you the star of your life, you're the star of life.
I'm not a star,
But you're
in my own mind.
You've taken the business part of my class like 3 or 4 times, correct?
Yes, yeah.
But then you were also one of my guinea pigs when I started my own program.
Which I love.
Oh, thank you, Your Outrageous Life.
Uh-huh.
So tell them how that program was different, that it's more personally oriented, and it's more to go after your joy and your abundance, instead of trying to actually set a goal immediately.
Right. So the first program is very goal focused, very business-like, very, very buttoned down and acceptable, and just.
And there was a lot of discipline.
And there's a discipline. Yes, the discipline. There's so much discipline that they wanted you to do. What I loved about your program is that you focused on accessing your joy and finding what lifts you up, and having this faith that what lifts you up will lift everyone else up around you as well, which I just absolutely love. I have listened to Abraham and to Bob Proctor and to Mike Dooley and all of these people. Like, I study them because you introduced me to them. But what I love about what you do is you give us the practical applications and the things that we can actually get out and do, rather than just the theoretical knowledge. Now, I know that you've studied extensively and you've read thousands of books and that this knowledge, but it's amazing to have somebody just synthesize it all and tell us how to approach it in our daily life and what to do with our daily life to implement these principles, because it can get very, esoteric.
And it can. So I think my program is more based on, how do we make ourselves find our joy and get to our joy and get to our bliss, because we love Bliss Be My Guide.
Yes, I love that.
That's one of our favorite things.
I love that.
So do you feel like that, the program has allowed you to get to that point?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a practice. I work towards it every day. It's kind of like meditation. I'm terrible at it, but I do try. But, if you have that small mantra, like Bliss Be My Guide, and, probably I only had the focus to really do it for a day, maybe a day and a half, just thinking Bliss Be My Guide in this, Bliss Be My Guide in that. But it's so good when you can do that. It just opens you up, and it's kind of freeing in a way too, because it just gives you the framework to operate in. I love it. I love that you can distill it to that point.
Well, and one of the things we've talked about, and you know that, is that our subconscious mind controls what we do 95% of our day.
Yes.
So when you say Bliss Be My Guide, our subconscious mind immediately starts looking for bliss.
Yes. I love that.
And so it's 3 words.
Yeah.
Bliss Be My Guide. It's 3 words, and if you say it, your subconscious mind starts looking for bliss.
Yes, and it's just a shift in perspective. You just look a little bit differently the other way, and you have this whole world open up to you. I think it's amazing. I think it's so cool.
That's so wonderful. So what's the one thing that you would want to be able to share with people if they are on the fence on whether or not they want to take this class?
I would say make the decision, jump in and try it, and really just give it your all, and follow the program, and do what Paula asks, because it really does it absolutely changes your perspective, and it lifts your emotions and your feelings so much, and you feel so good. So I would encourage anybody to jump in and try it.
So do you think this has helped you realize that you are the hero of your own journey?
Absolutely, and I think that it's an ongoing process as well. I do. I could not ask for a better guide, spirit guide, hero guide than you. Honestly, I love the way you teach, and I love the way I love your humor and the way you approach it, and you're very gentle, even though you know what needs to be done and to get people to improve their lives. It's amazing, just changing the focus, changing what you focus on. Your kids acting crazy and being a holy terror, but then they go and give their other Oreo to their brother, and if you focus on the sharing the Oreo, you're like, oh, my kid's an angel.
It is. You can decide to focus.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Anna, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you always being such a good addition to all my classes.
Thank you
so much for being here today. Thank you so much.
So welcome back. And I want you to remember this term. We are the stories that we tell ourselves. And that is from Michael Cunningham. So if we continue to tell the story that we're victims, that we couldn't help it, and we do not accept the responsibility and the power that this information gives us, we don't take our lives to the next level. But if we can understand this information, if we understand that we can tell a different story, we can tell a different story of where we came from, we can look at it in a much different light of being heroes and being victors. If we can tell a different story of where we are right now, and that the journey that we are on is the most amazing journey, but we got to open our eyes and realize that we're on this path, and to be able to use the tools, to be able to use the natural laws that are out there to our advantage. It changes everything. So I appreciate you being with me today. I appreciate you going through this hero's journey with me, because of course we're on this journey together. I want to remind you, if you read the Law of Attraction magazine, and I'm in there this month, and if you don't, I want to invite you to a cruise that we're having in April. It's a cruise that leaves New Orleans. It's a 5-day cruise, and I think there's 6 or 8 of us that get to teach on this. I would love to have you guys join us. If you would mention my name when you're making the reservations, the people that are in my group, we're going to have something special we're going to do. We're going to eat together. We're going to have our own cocktail party. we're going to do something so that I can get to know all of you. But I would love to have you go on this cruise with me. I am so excited about it. It's going to be the Law of Attraction cruise. There's going to be a lot of like-minded people. It gets our vibration up. It's a journey. This can be part of our hero's journey that we're going on this together. So hopefully that is something that might interest you. You might get on the Law of Attraction Radio network.com or the Law of Attraction magazine, and you can sign up there. I think there's some early bird prices if you want to do that. And in addition to that, I would love for you to send me some emails. I'm getting some great feedback. So let me know how you like this. Let me know what you would like to talk about. Let me know if you'd like to be on the program. I would love to have some new interesting ideas. It's at Paula at lawyerofattraction.com. And my YouTube channel, please subscribe to that, is Paula Kidd Casey, the Law of Attraction, and my Instagram. And until next time, I am so happy you've gone on this journey with me. And I know that you are the hero in your own story. And I know that you're starting to understand and recognize that. And your life is going to be amazing. And so until we meet again, according to Ram Dass, we are all just walking each other home. I will see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining Paula Kidd Casey on Lawyer of Attraction radio show. For more information about Paula programs and her book, please visit www.lawyerofattraction.com. Until next week, may you experience the magic of manifesting genuine abundance.